Ever had a brilliant idea, started with a ton of excitement, and then nothing? You hit a wall, motivation vanishes, and that amazing project ends up in the graveyard of unfinished ideas. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And I'm here to tell you that the problem isn't your idea, and it's not your talent. The problem is something we almost never talk about: the messy middle. Most people think innovation fails because the initial idea wasn't good enough. That's a myth. Innovation doesn't die at the starting line. It dies in the grueling, confusing, and unglamorous marathon that comes after. This is the messy middle, the treacherous gap between your initial burst of excitement and the final, polished result. It's the point where most people quit. They mistake the struggle for a sign of failure. But what if I told you that struggle is the whole point? Today, we're going to talk about the one skill that gets you through it: creative courage. This isn't about being born a creative genius. It's about making a choice. Creative courage is choosing action before you feel confident. It's creating something without any guarantee that it will succeed or even be noticed. It's the willingness to look unpolished, to be wrong, to feel slow, and to show up even when you have no idea what the next step is. Clarity doesn't come before you start. Clarity comes from starting. So what does this messy middle actually feel like? It's that moment when your initial excitement has faded, but the results you want are still nowhere in sight. It's when the voice of self-doubt in your head gets louder than your motivation. It's when you get feedback that's either confusing, discouraging, or worse, just complete silence. It's that frustrating feeling when you're putting in a ton of effort, but the outcome just doesn't seem to match. This is the critical point. This is where the real work of creation happens. So why do so many of us abandon our projects here? It boils down to fear. The fear of wasting our time on something that might not work. The fear of what others will think, the fear of judgment, and maybe the most paralyzing fear of all, the fear of being just average, of pouring our heart into something only to find out it's mediocre. We confuse the discomfort of stretching ourselves with the final verdict of incompetence. We think, this is hard, so I must be bad at it, but that's a lie. We need to completely reframe how we see the messy middle. The middle is not a problem to be solved, it's the process itself. That feeling of struggle. It's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're stretching beyond your old limits. You're growing. That uncertainty you feel. That's the price of admission for originality. If the path were clear and easy, someone would have already walked it. Every single meaningful creation in history, from a world-changing invention to a beautiful piece of art, passed through its own messy, uncertain middle. This brings us to the role of failure. In our culture, failure is treated like a final judgment. But in the world of innovation, failure is just data. It's not your identity. Every time you try something and it doesn't work, you've just learned one more way not to do it. You've gathered valuable information that will make your next attempt better. This is why iteration always beats perfection. Trying to get it perfect on the first go is a recipe for paralysis. Instead, the goal should be to make progress. Every failed version, every ugly draft, every clumsy prototype sharpens the final one. Mastery is built on thousands of invisible attempts that no one ever sees. So how do you build this muscle of creative courage every day? It's simpler than you think. First, start before you feel ready. The feeling of ready is a myth. It will never arrive. Second, focus on creating small, imperfect things consistently. Write one bad page, sketch one rough idea, record one shaky take. The goal is not to create a masterpiece every day. The goal is to show up. Third, and this is crucial, you must detach your self-worth from the results of your work. Your value as a person has nothing to do with whether your project succeeds or fails. Treat your creativity as a practice, like going to the gym, not as a performance where you're judged. This is the key difference between courage and motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It's an emotional wave that comes and goes, and it's completely unreliable. You can't build a project on the shifting sands of emotion. Courage, on the other hand, is a decision. It's a commitment that you can make and remake every single day, regardless of how you feel. You don't need to wait for a lightning bolt of inspiration to strike. You just need to commit to taking the next step. Progress doesn't favor the most inspired person. It favors the most persistent. Think about any breakthrough you admire. A great film, a revolutionary piece of technology, a groundbreaking scientific discovery. We only see the polished final product. We celebrate the success story. But behind every single one was a hidden, messy, doubtful phase. The creators rarely talk about the sleepless nights, the crippling self-doubt, the moments they almost gave up. What you admire today was once an unfinished, uncertain, and probably quite ugly idea that its creator chose to stick with. Now, let's consider the alternative. What is the cost of always avoiding the messy middle? It might feel safer to stick to ideas that are guaranteed to work, but safe ideas don't change anything. Playing small protects your ego in the short term, but it severely limits your impact and your growth in the long run. Constantly avoiding the discomfort of the middle doesn't lead to peace. It leads to a quiet, lingering regret for the things you never tried. The real risk isn't failing. The real risk is getting to the end of your life and realizing you never truly tried at all. So, the challenge is to choose to stay in the middle. Make a conscious decision to endure the confusion and uncertainty just a little bit longer than everyone else. That's often the only difference between those who succeed and those who don't. You have to learn to trust the process, even when the results aren't showing up yet. And you have to commit to finishing what you start, even if it's not perfect. In the long run, consistency always outperforms flashes of brilliance. This means we need to redefine what success even means. Success isn't the perfectly polished final product. Success is making progress, however small. Success is learning faster than you feel like quitting. Success is simply staying in the game long enough to see the breakthrough. The finish line is not the only place where you can feel successful. Every step you take inside that messy middle is a victory in itself. So here is your call to action right now. Think of one idea, one project that you were excited about, but you abandoned it when it got hard. I want you to go back to it, not with the pressure to perfect it, but with a different goal. Just commit to taking one small, imperfect step today. Don't try to finish it. Just add one sentence, one line of code, one brushstroke. And then, here's the courageous part. Share your work with someone before it feels ready. Choose courage over comfort. The world doesn't need another perfect idea that stays in your head. It needs your messy, unfinished, courageous work. Start now.